I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magob, it's time for the only news that matters. And in a new interview with Greg Prato of Ultimate Guitar, Triumph frontman Rick Emmett was asked for his opinion on the comparisons between Triumph and fellow legendary Canadians Rush. He responded, "It would be hard for people that were at a remove, which is to say, an American critic or people that were just taking the quick look at things and go, oh, three-piece band from Toronto, Canada. Rush is the one I'm familiar with. Triumph I'm not familiar with because the bands were not really that similar except for the fact that there was a high male vocalist guy and they were both trios and both from the same geographic location. Beyond that, the bands didn't really have a lot of similarities. In terms of the music that was being made and the albums and stylistically, it wasn't like Rush. Rick Emmett, who is promoting his just-released memoir, laid on the line a backstage pass to Rockstar Adventure, Conflict and Triumph. Continued, I'm always, and I'll always say it again, they have nice coattails, and they were nice guys. Triumph was able to get a second look by radio people because of the fact that Rush had been there before. Concert promoters, all the rest of that kind of stuff. So they did make our lives easier in some respects. And then on other levels, they sort of entered into a stratosphere of your Pink Floyds and almost like a Led Zeppelin-ish kind of thing. They were huge and they were international and they would go on concert tours, even South America. They played soccer stadiums and you go, okay, they're on another level. Triumph was never a band on that level. It's not apples and oranges. That's kind of like grapes and a watermelon. More than 3 years ago, Emmett reflected on the passing of Rush's drummer Neil Peart and spoke about his personal relationship with the fellow legendary rockers in an interview with Meltdown of Detroit. He said, I met Neil only a couple of occasions. Neil was not the kind of man who liked to go to industry functions. He didn't do meet and greets. He didn't hang around after the gigs. He was a very private kind of guy, and I respect that. I admired him. Kinship-wise, Alec Lifeson and I always well-suited for each other, I think. When Triumph was just a bar band playing the Gasworks of York Street in Toronto, Alex came down to the gig and had a couple of beers and introduced himself to me. We've done guitar workshops together, and of course, he played on one of my records. I did a record for Mascot a few years back, 2016, I think, and Alex played on a couple of tracks. He's a gentleman, a tremendous artist. If he had decided he wanted to be a painter, he would have been a great painter. If he had been a poet, he would have been a great poet. But he was a guy that picked up an electric guitar and eventually was in this band. And Rush, we were always riding on their coattails. They were always bigger than us, breaking other markets and playing all over the world. We owed them a lot. And I don't really know Geddy Lee that well at all. I think I've only said hello to him once. He and I, we share something. We had a son that ended up playing baseball in a fairly high level. And my son also ended up playing NCAA division. I in the States on a scholarship. And I see Geddy at the ball games and he got great seats, so the center field camera showed him sitting in the second row, so we get to see Geddy. If you're a Canadian, practically every night when they allow people into the stadium. but I don't know him that well. Alex is kind of the guy who's my bud. Emmett, who quit Triumph in 1988 over musical and business disputes, went on to pursue a solo career while Triumph carried on with future Bon Jovi guitarist Phil X for one more album called Edge of Excess before calling it a day the following year. So there you go. Yeah, he's not wrong. Rush was always on a different level than Triumph, but man, Triumph was big at one time, man. I saw Triumph 3 times in an arena, a packed arena. Like people would look back now and think, oh, Motley Crue was a bigger draw than Triumph. They weren't in South Florida, man. Motley Crue would pack the Sportatorium the same way Triumph would. Triumph was huge. And speaking of Motley Crue, it was weird how I just brought up Motley Crue because Motley Crue totally ripped off Triumph. When I saw, God, I can't remember, I think it was Sport of King. I can't remember, no, it couldn't have been Sport of King. But they did a tour where they opened with this laser show and this face popped up and started talking to the crowd in laser form. And a few years later, when I saw Dr. Feelgood tour, they used the same damn laser, same damn face, probably the same damn voice for all I know. They totally ripped off Triumph. Triumph had amazing stage shows. Bombs, great, amazing lights, lasers. They were just phenomenal live. Triumph was an event, and it's weird, man, how they never really, they kind of become forgotten. You know, they can't go out there and do an arena tour like they used to. And it sucks because they're a great band. Yeah, I think their albums later on were kind of spotty, and I guess that's probably what killed them. But man, it didn't kill Motley Crue with their spotty albums. But then again, Motley Crue is more image-based, where Triumph were excellent musicians, and they didn't sound like Rush. Geddy and Rick both had high voices. And, Blinding Light Show sounds like something that might have been a Rush song. But they were more, song-oriented. They weren't as proggy. They just they just hinted at prog here and there. But they were just an excellent band. And Rick was talking about how Alex Lifeson played on that album. Man, on his last solo album. For anybody out there that's a Triumph fan, and you haven't heard the song that Alex Lifeson did with Rick Emmett, do yourself a favor. Type in Rick Emmett and Resolution 9, Human Race. That's the song that Alex Lifeson on. It's a total Triumph, positivity, awesome hooks, awesome guitar playing, awesome vocals. It's totally old school Triumph, like from Never Surrender and Allied Forces type of vibe. Just an amazing damn song, man. And I love it. I love that. I love that album, too. It's a great album. Yeah, it sucks that there's no more Triumph, but boy, I cherish those memories of seeing them live and being a young kid with the Rock and Roll Machine album, and I had Progression of Power, I had Just a Game. I bought them all. I bought them all back in the day. And yeah, later on albums, Surveillance and stuff like that, wasn't really doing it for me. But man, everything from Seven Thunder's okay, or Thunder 7, whatever it's called. But really, Never Surrender Down, that's my favorite Triumph stuff. I absolutely love Triumph, and they may have not have been as big and huge as Rush was, but I thought they were a damn good band from Canada. And I put them right behind Rush as my favorite band from Canada. And many people out there, no, not many, but some people out there would put Triumph over Rush. You can see that in the comments below, I bet. But not me. I still put Rush above them, but my God, do I love that early Triumph stuff. And I'll never forget the first time I saw them on the Allied Forces tour, opening act, Saxon on the Denim and Leather tour. How mind-blowing is that? And I saw it in a venue called the Guzman Center in Miami, which was my one and only time I ever went to that venue. was to see that. And it was a great venue, but that's the only rock show I know of that played there. Anyway, so that's it. That's it for the news. I want to thank you all for watching. You all rule. I really do appreciate you. And please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that. Just press subscribe. Doesn't take a lot of energy. Click the little notification bell because I put up stuff basically every day. And leave comments below. And please, like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.